Blessings. Happy birthday, Dr. Kweku Mensabunsu.
Peace FM.
Yeah, to you, Jumejino. So, Anope, Prof. Bako aha, Doc Bako aha, Party Chairman Bako Ewaha. Professor Safumache. Yeah.
Major Sana Mbom.
Yamene Henny.
Nana weekend.
Oh, no, yeah. Ekuye. Oh, Prophet Kuye.
Yeah, Chairman General.
Oh, Yenya Kakra Kuye. Ekuye. And Kwanya Honda so into your Bejana Mercy. Ekuye, Papa. Dr. Wako.
Chairman General.
Me who fear Papa.
Chairman Yanokre.
Metonka. I want from him.
Well,
but I said me who say pa the ache.
Sir, covered by your intention.
Oh,
I am from
but they say no,
oh, sir,
be intino.
And I'm a yante.
And Pacho,
okay, that's a Miami shut down for one.
And Pacho, Ayana.
What kind of the enemy? I'll pay judicial attention to.
I take you. Now for you today.
Papa, Yamina Dumo, it's in Quem.
Yeah, then Yamiasi.
It's in Quem.
Prof, wait a minute, if you say, son, say, when I'll be to my abutoye. And fellow Ghanaians, number 15, Betoja.
Number 15.
Na, I'm a senior man getting Kaka.
Okay.
Nyame Aduma, Ibi Kutuka Airport by 1st September. Nyame Aduma. So, Chiman Penika Sana. If it may be a science for year Ministry of Health no Gucci near one keka hunan or may I say binya be a friend of some say rapid test be inti say omoyan share na tomudia by 1st September. But all area universities yes say 24th of this month. You best start here be near there. First of all, the psychology of opening an airport, revenue beba, acquaintance beba, up and down. Ebisu strose, yariaso beba. Universities near there. Sanya nkomo no kono. Asa number 15 eye. Who say?
Yo, I'm say. Come with us na michia etifo nso nyina.
Yeah, Josepa edas.
Obi anso ebo ne homodin say obehwe ne ho yi.
Yes.
Na say de eya meta ka no say ntwen ya say me yare kora me ho betome. Eno de ya na ye mpese ye beti na mo bon homodin ase yare no ebi nka makora. Eno na ye bo mpai if you say maybe later we'll talk about the implications of hoto wi ni ade anti ya na ebi no fa no trawa asa say o na say me yare kora me ho betome ya mpa ebeso bi ya hoto no mo hwe say obe yare na o mato. Deri kan ye de eda onyame asese ode ya bedu sam pempenso yi.
Amen.
Na efe nso ye yada ye mpanyimfo ase. Ya me say de bia me kano. COVID-19 bai sese bosum yanum. Na ye twe. Na so bia betena radius no ka say aban ye hwi pa de da me ka ta ka say na you are not being honest to your own conscience. Enye no correct. Aban to na mwa hodo aban abo na homoden decisions are hodo kwame won isia pandemics say in pandemics there is something they call the complexities of pandemics. Ade ba ko ehun kan obo say of various connected implications enti onipa ba ko pena ebia ana mienu bi ni hu Ghana and they acquired 40,000 plus ama over 200 people there. O my nyamede ebere nso atom entino what you say when you are taking decisions on complex issues like a pandemic who take a decision on one end no now we share a potential rippling effect at the other end and here now what I can say you need a complex perspective one who say we take away a ebeka we into then a bit me aye na maso bibie mu se ne ebekoto ten afei so ye hunu se decisions are aban eteki ye throughout 5 months yet make us nyina ye 100% na mo aban so abon homoden edi ba bia na eja yenso ya bane ya abeka alwin kakra se de be ya won a eye COVID-19 adwuma be hunu se eto adwene ma e de aboa o man no Number 15, again, become we share the president pa na fe me can the view. I can be 3 times. Me tell who the same refrain be. Yewo the kind successes be aba. The tier be no there was still some challenges. For example, share mask here, later we'll talk about it. What should I say? Human away no be 80% and beyond equal mask no. But well over 40% in mission. Not just say na still no education no how to chimaka crowd ho. I was still like in fact, I think 24th July or so. And Journal of American Medical Association from the JAMA. Everybody to just say, I did about America. No more to me, I stepped the tide of COVID-19. I Nipa America. No, I say Nipa beshe face mask. And the science was quite good. Say, Osha face mask. It may a bought hobby, not a bought wouldn't be announced hobby. And the face mask idea. He started here and I better how can I say. Maybe I kind of travel say and I'm more enforcement because I was one of those who were advocating say it should be enforced. Said yeah, lockdown by any enforcement. But them say no, be a not ya should I'm a near chili papa. To be a honor, a coronation in the pocket. I'm passing baby and I'll oh baby na a beer, a honor will be anywhere. Now on corner you may want to just breathe normally. But say oh come market. Baby and baby nam na nipa bo pay somebody. Yeah, no, I careful not wash your face mask.
Talking about market or kwa no mun shekura.
No mun shekura. And not just say mask no dey na hono na yehuni yi. Efe uhwemu so a president e ka kire say onyame adom no say no hwe recoveries no akosro pa. Say me say active case no enam about say 1,000 and something.
1,800, a little over 1,800.
That's right. HSA, you call your name. Maybe last week I said, call northern part of the country. No, now some areas be what for some time now. No, I'm on record any new case, and I thought that was very good. And to encourage all regions. Say ubia mo na homodin na ye asen so aba en free sa areas no so I be who say yeah record new cases. Na no sa figures here president man no em say if we the backlog na ye say it's a test na man temantino you don't get real case until and the never na I say oh holiday any ye dey ba and em say see from the report no speech no ye wie sa backlog no enti see you can't happen party a fan ye be hwe say cases be na eba am say president no say ye test now 48 hours and na obenya results no in fact Yale University enya breakthrough bia e bia be boa yen so amate say no which one so e be hwe say betumi enya a similar way but omo de no a little over 3.5 hours na when your results no saliva and the nasal swab na na ya e di be show him ni yayi ni nyina no a be take away no say no new ways are coming up a little over 3 hours we get your results and also back me real time figures are e bet me hu say enipa say ni nyan na do say no a clear free ho and tell me say me de me hu say fame mo na ya clear grounds na ye be hwe say cases be na free eba
yeah
then ye fa how long is it taking them to recover? We've learned a lot of lessons over the past 5 months. And to going forward, maybe to me, and also, I think, airport reopening, no income for you, Hakra. I'm say, and Chebian and Edin Comose, some virus, you know. You see, yeah, I'm not drew NC and a dear. They born breaking the transmission. In fact, WHO, I can say the Amman nations and the community says of a behavioral weakness. Behavioral weakness. Just say, Your subibia, your person, or apply to it. Send your virus no and transmitted from one to the other person, and from the other person to you. The WHO can say we failed as nations, and the velocity of the virus no, and starting and within say a month also near Dubai, 3 months they do 500,000 globally. Just say a chi and tam kitikisa. If you say that there were behavioral weaknesses. Now, and no, I say who take decisions be on where you want to look at. Say at the end of me me take a decision, you know. As soon as so every baby,
yeah,
borders are closed. Why are they closed? Because in him say yare no ye ni anadru. Number 2, in him say ifre nipa and a konipa. And number 3, ubreki transmission one. Like I say unya control. So you be able to say 2 things are likely to happen. Mm-hmm. There are people who are trapped here who will go to where they are. And there are others who are trapped also beyond Ghana who may also want to come. And there are others who may want to embark on their own businesses. If you go to school, if you go to
university,
yes. Any identity, you are going to have the flow of human beings from one state to the other, one place to the other, and all of those.
And that could be a high risk for a lot of people.
And now, for you, trying to say, can you really voters registration? No?
Yeah.
I'm passing to me and say, oh, yeah, registration, no, I don't know, a sparking and liberty. But from the time we started registration, no, we were not at 40,000. That is at me, no, we cannot say a non-tea and a money buy. But the truth is that from the time we started registration, no, and the time we know, and we can't deny it. And from the time I started here, so anytime we know, Nipa wants to be a worker. That one we can't deny. Just that you can't draw a causal link between we and we.
Obi the figures we are premises here. Now I just want to share it with you. I mean, bisa question. I'll say Ghana a recovery rate, 95.4%.
Yes.
It is well above benchmarks around. I'll say global recovery is 66.6. Africa there is 74.6. South Africa alone is 80.4. Your death rate is 0.54.
Yeah.
Global is 3.55. Africa is 2.29. South Africa 2.02. Active cases as a percentage of recorded infections.
Yeah.
Because active cases are a percentage of recorded infections.
That's right.
I'll say active cases as a percentage of recorded infections globally 29.9. Africa 23.1. South Africa 27.6. Ghana 4.6.
Okay.
The figures look good for us. 1, my 2, ebi kwa ka say ebia yenye mass testing in yehu. But according to the president, you have more than 400,000 tests. Inti comparatively, yes, you are. Now, you be universities, you be airport, ebia 1st September. Sa figures and nada inti na meye ne ba be no. Na say nia amanfo bebre suro said there could be a second wave. No? Are we not inviting it?
Okay. And to come in, one of me discussion they call.
Yeah.
Sanka, you registration exercise. Nanka, yatanase. Na ya share. Oba say within a period or throughout a period of the registration, no Ukraine me no na ebinum flower to rules pa. Yet they said there were a lot of violence in some of the areas. Now, I mean, you can imagine the exchange of saliva, be a breaking protocol, people are scattered all over. I mean, you're starting hearing all of these things. Take a year, you know. I feel let's sit back. Let us take stock. May I share what happened? Then they see, and you might then what lessons have we learned? You take our stock here. Now, and now be a benchmark for the next line of thought. I'm going to say, yeah, okay. I'm going to say, yeah, we knew number 1, face mask wearing, akofe.
Yeah.
Number 2, social distance violations, akosoro. Number 3, and on say, when no yet to me but the successes might have led to some other lapses. And to utrasi, I don't take it full stocker. Now, if I say, okay, a hano, from Suka, a cracka, way, uncle ye. Offense number 2. Yet, a man of echo school, a SHS, no. Yet, say, a bimunia, yarenibi.
Yeah.
And a bimunia yarenibi, no. A failure for your better, as I said, there are over 300,000 or so. A more exams. Ibiaba and the Busu exams are. I think they are a month to go. I think by 18th September, now Omavi. So let's sit down. Now, and then see what are we learning? I've always said, say it takes stock because I'm a yari, you know. It is still complex, it is still novel.
Yeah.
And you will take a stock of the lessons learned, you know, not a guide future decisions. And honestly, in COVID-19, you know, you don't rush decisions. But you learn out of some of the lessons and some of the mistakes. And you know, I say, number 1, going back to school. In fact, one year, many schools, for example, final year phone we were able to do online and much trade. I think a few days ago, I was in Kofodia, KTU, not a penny binimo airtro, a binimo kachikakra. But for you, and they say, now, as a nation, the need for remote learning is becoming paramount. I was saying, and the anchor, we know lessons when you see free SHS for Adinu. What were some of the lapses? People is a call, you know. I mean, come here, Anna, Prof. Ebekache, and say there were loopholes here and there, and a coin. But I must admit, say when you are working on adolescents from 13 years to 17 years, Anna, non-custody soon. Universities, no, they are a little bit mature, and we are hoping that President Aken say, "Well, the same challenges. Number 1, the supply of PPEs. Number 2, the applying of the students, especially areas where kind of say remote learning. I will say, in-person, maybe teaching, mopping up, and some actual exams. No? In some of the areas, no, we call other even say." I mean, they were seated with social distance protocol, and I watch on my exams. If this one I go to school, what said here, SHS one choir I go to school. And the 10-year person can the potential say being spark in the we can't rule about. We have to be positive. Now, the point of stressing is say we could have also taken some lessons out of that. Name your break a crack. Now, if share and also. And sana akoso. Is
it not possible say senior work and ABA lessons have been taken into na ama sa movement say the decisions here be?
There's a period. Say a fair and for example the registration exercise. No?
Yeah.
Is a period. I think it shouldn't be lost on us also say President Kano, some nations are experiencing spikes. Second, third, it's happening. Come here, who say in most African countries, sometimes in Asia, they also baby. When you look at Western countries,
yes,
even if one person falls, I mean they can close the entire thing down. Life is so sacrosanct, and so say bako kokora. But I know because nipa here na wu. Let say and so say etna say nipa bi wu ansa. Na ya ka say o kakra na wu. Come in Africa figures now okay no.
Yes.
The major contributor is South Africa. Generally yanka Africa percentage you know can you bad crowd. Now most figures now e boss nyina no. And so say Emma etrim debroso.
Yeah.
If we say we're still not completely out, I must admit, say we have made very good progress. Now, we still have a lot to learn. If you saw, still any prophylactic vaccines. Coming, the next point is very important. Is that recoveries are over 40,000 recoveries. In fact, as announced about a little over 95%, which is very good. But current research actually say recoveries are urban, and yet complete recovery. I mean, chance here. Complete recovery, such as say, Obi, any other na we virus sniffing the body more. Other organs of the bodies of the body are affected. The liver, the kidney, in fact, the brain, and it being so juma essay. And the recovery must not just be the absence of the pathogen. The recovery must be holistic. So, depending on juma essay, you know, how is the person? Ne hoya ne de no na dwen to saying. Some of them
but say and you be an etisa.
Oh, Kwame, that's the interesting thing. Initially, I said those who were intubated. One more a day machine, a wood on lungs, and we felt say, Omona. But current studies in the UK, for example, over 10,000 are only 10,000 shares. Even those who did not have to be taken to ICU are reporting serious damages. And the point is, at the point I'm making is, we shouldn't forget rehabilitation programs. And the 1 hour, 40,000, 95 recoveries. No, what kind of recoveries? How many of them? And any particular organ damages? How many of them are delirious? How many of them are mentally challenged? I am part of the International Commission on COVID and Suicide. Okay. And recently, when we share we and come better, sir.
I see.
Most of them are also getting, for example, suicidal. Canada is battling with some of this, and the rehabilitation is very important. If you are saying, "My means so alcohol," say you say, "Oh, want to into here." Finally, no, come me can say there is complexity in COVID-19. And nipa na onya ebi eneno se na adwuma ho kan na onya adwuma eka na dwene se eka na dwene a eka ne fie se eka ne fie a ebeka na yere ne mba se eka na yere mba so it has this rippling effect. And me enrashe nka se obia onkofo ho atom ntie no ano no ye de nyame ase pa se policies na ban de gu okwan mu no ebi ye adwuma pa ebi so ho a o say title nketen sana yemia a holistic impactor ebeboa na ye make atwa ato say figures na ban nyina no eye say omanfo tie mi a the president kan no on kire say battle no ye wi o twamfo nya kire say ye kwayanim ti de on share mask na de obey safety protocols in yakano. They want to the jamu. I see obi class or say sikafo yare. Obi say a boga yare. Obi say a wanga empire yare. Matete all kinds of very interesting thoughts. Nipa kai say yare real. Enti de ya kase ye bia no. Bomodi ana ye. Now wanga ebeku schools in the universities no. Omo do so pa.
Yeah.
Na hono coming. Now, he reflected very much on that. Say, you better have a kind say, SS4 Aircono, Yenya entry plans, Yenya exit plans. Because I grab. I didn't have your secondary school. You person a second mistake, BC, as our students, and they are in the final year. Osha could do final year. Never be told university, I come here.
Yeah.
And the university, I'm sure most universities have also applied themselves because be or other places to the safety protocols. And the whole American and to walk sama omuti, they also know that their lives are at stake, and I also omutu omanambo ye. Maybe America until everyone is free. No one is free. And they say omoko no man to manamo ye no mo to talk me ajejemua. Not just say the it's just still a chase after the wind. Yan kai say oh me on aban de be ya na make you de be ya na aban ye no mfonso kaka be mu de but good results nso eba na won so apply on ho a the catch and say it is the war is one on two fronts. Leadership, governance one and one aban 8 to number yes so dan kan say e be cost no. Number 2 behaviors from people. And it's a utu na money here. Now buy so yen announce what the ana ka ho a. Na just say o man na etu anambo akoyenim. COVID cannot keep us down forever. Na mo yetu na mo nso no na yehunu say yɛtu ne yi a ɛbɛboa nti kwa me first face no Eddie see.
Until everyone is free, no one is free. Professor Joseph Osafo, Head of Psychology Department, University of Ghana, Legon. Dr. Gideon Wako, so far, fellow Ghanaians, number 15, Abba, wait here, Prof, wait here in community echo. I was saying,
Chama Medase, Megidi pass it, in some Prof, that's purely from the expert point of view. And I think I associate with myself, no matter Prof. Kayan or the Donano, in order. Of course, Professor psychologist, when we say, or the discussions, echo a bit further. The psychological implications I wore COVID-19, so will be a no recover any situations thereof. Kwame yanokre yare bai okwasem ni yamframa bi ama ewiase nyina ho ache wo ewiase nyina in the sense of say nipa duanka sa esi ho ache no na ewiase nso sikasem adwadi ene nkro ba and so aye problematic yare no sometimes utie now sample views Ghana for the donor general senior Prof Kai no ebi fi say oh yes ka for yare ebi kra fi say onyahu nipa bi a wanya bi papote meti some television documentary bi na nipa bi ka say oh omo kasa de omate say grofo nya bi ba omo hu ye but no kwasam ni say kwame chama yare no wo ho
papa bi
me ankasa metemanya bi na mafimu
hey unya bi
yeah me nya COVID-19 bi.
Serious?
Yeah, I recovered somewhere last month.
Mantida.
Enti ya dia ni kwanso obi ade dia agro.
Unya.
Bese 3 weeks to 1 month. Na me inactive. I mean inactive because of COVID-19 no. Nya ho gono so sa. So and yenyina no sometimes it's true until say sometimes the tendencies are there, you are likely to gloss over a few things. But the Amaya one son is sometimes it doesn't be a fee by it because I felt I had followed all the safety protocols. In fact, Osha me car booth up to now, we were a whole box of sanitizer. Okay, and Pameho. Every now and then, and I have the alcohol spray one. I'm spraying my car steering, every part.
No, we are doing
but still, it happened. Okay.
Wow.
And Tama me test. Of course, I felt the symptoms. And I called my doctor and I said, no, this is the problem. I said, no, then try and do a test. And my move on, baby, on my meeting and I'm about to key sample. And fortunately for me, I think within 48 hours the results was out. But negative, I say how? Peace FM. I feel I try as much as possible to be very careful, washing my hands, sanitizing, doing. But I got it.
Wow.
I got it, and so I had to. I said there's isolation or quarantine, those kind of things, and taking the medications, trying to. But it happened. And it's not something that people should play with. So, as I said, anybody should play with. What I've also observed, Mr. Kwame, every time I say you come in contact with the person, but you may not get it. That is also a possibility. Because until say may test positive or no. Now many panel tonight everything together. But up to now no one also tested negative. And sometimes the whole architecture of the virus and how it operates within the body chemistry, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to unravel. And me person me make points in this COVID-19 area no. If grandpapa today I'm telling you are sitting with somebody who had it before. And you're taking it serious. Now you're working around the clock to help what is government is also doing. Of course, I buy in so put to the whole leadership and governance structures we have across the globe to test. Until my who your response measures as a country, as a continent, and the whole global economy, and how I see reacted, near responded to situations of this nature. Meaning is on my view, we are why 100% efficiency. A far COVID-19 is an year, and for AC brand new 200 more. There's no country. In fact, the superpowers are not aircraft or more the most robust and sophisticated health systems. America, Europe, and then Cronibano. UTT stories, maybe or you see America, the ambulances, and see a bontin and nipa or mafi credo mugum when people cannot pass along. It's not hard. It's a problem. Meaning is that there is any government, any president, or might be a bit to truly this country or inside the COVID-19. Yet the trade issues about Madagascar and then maybe a chain now almost a move. So nobody there's
no template.
Template be and standard yastic be as you say when now they check say why are there or man we are see and as say you try your hands on it. Of course, a biba bomb home in Croniba. But yeah, fight and so now as I see a protect young crowford. And nothing and raw man penny a can't be said. Sabio and yes, they're all yin and 110 and I say Sabi or person will be brigana for any so and I say what the number be nature chancro for and so you free pass yare abba na obi anyare ni bi ono no ye breadwinner e wa abusuamu na holding call for monte abusua sabi kakra ne mpanifo so be di ofia na e be shekra ye problem no asese ye hwekọ na e be fa so aban so betima ye bibi di asoso omanfo e haw na no enti normal mampani ye sebia o yasin so ka ya de acha omanfo obosumi nsia obosumi miensa ya sa tremu de ko obosumi nsia kane aka ya de acha omanfo ya my school for kwakotwe exam said ya na di ene ne nkọ ne ba te enye sebia omampani ne 110 keke na oye until the description say president ma freebies no these are not freebies, they are safety nets. Say mampani and I say aban odwen nkrofo on situations like this and yet normal times yeah dey bitimi e dey abo omanfo ama omanfo ho atomo and also ma Ghana for so hu ni say so ampa say ye wo okandifo bi nso aye ho kwa ho ye hia mu a ono so ebebo no ho so no abo no ho mode no ahwe say ho ye hia na yakom no obebre ya hawo ase e dey amaye na ye nso ye ho atimi atoye enti megidi ye pa say a test your governance system. As I test on minor say you nyina ye be prepared say situations be say ba kwan be ne be fa so a ye be see ano na ya bo bra and truly men ka say ebia anamo ya to say individuals and adwumaku e Ghana ha ne aban 100%. I wouldn't say that because so 100% efficiency nipa bia na obenya sa efficiency just nyankopon na so o de normal to tons and any at senia o show statistics ne and more aban weight aban to vis-a-vis other countries. Now to say yes Ghana area no active cases as at 24th of last month kana 3,000 and around 1,800. That just say can ye capacity as in prempren kan Ghana for area ni bi wo so no omo no 2,000 and no send padodo a anya bie na omo ho atom ne omo afimu no ya kampu ma ya be around 40,000 but ya ka omo asisi ankasa ya really be ewo so a omo no 2,000. In fact mantam bit is upper east, upper west, northeast and then savannah regions so crowd there not a single person will be in who ya really be at so one ho say the fight na ankasa ya dey fight ya no aban ene Ghana fo nyina ya boy homode nyankopon adawroma ene yare no yatimi ama abrase adwumpompon bi a ebetimi aboa enyina ama ye ho atoye eno so enkere se yenjeja ya ho saa na yakase ya bra na see yenja no ma ebetimi asan asori bio nti awose yekoso ana ye boy ho ban hwehwemu na amampani tu dwa nra na kire se nipa besa wo ha mu nchemu aduotwe ne kakra enim yare ne pa se ewo ho na omo wo pepa no so say face mask ya ye kan omo behye na must observe the safety protocols. Then so emu be on also there. Adeɛ no ɔmo imagine say ɔmo bɛpɛ ho asɛm koraa ahwɛ yɛsrɛ obi ase everybody is at risk ɔne a wonya nya bi ɛne yɛ ne a yɛnya bi a yɛ ho atɔ yɛ nyina na yɛbɛtumi asa nya bi nti we are all equally at risk nti yɛsɛ yɛhwɛ na yɛbɔ yɛn ho ban ɛdi kan because self protection is very important na afei nso no yɛhwɛ sɛ aban nso bɛkɔ so ana wanya akade a ɛsɛ sɛ onya na ɔde boa ɔmanfoɔ na ɔde sɔ yɛn nso yɛ mu na ɔgye yɛ aba
Doc, wo deɛ no kɔ da hospital
Manda Hospital. Yes, the good thing is that send young California or severe and acute situations. A bowa and the bribino. My hunisa. I had some slight feverish conditions. And as a heat kakrebi and now, but Chaba na mitimidi bibia. Binu na o taste na yadi and it was smell. I didn't have those problems, but I tested positive. A few feverish conditions. I know the more best 2-3 weeks, but I was okay. Now I'm active baby because now immune system is so cut down till my week, but I wasn't at the hospital. I was.
Oh yeah, phobia and you be pass it on to anybody.
Nobody got it.
Wow.
Nobody go be on no anonymity fear or no so any test negative. And different variations in terms of intensity effects on a minimum young copa so on so from on the buy when you be chamina it was very bad situation. To know there or Korea could do intensive care units. By Yami and Adam, a man who told him I was side by. And sometimes we hear stories now. Ubiane the way I will see reacting.
The maybe Sandy said Dr. Professor Safa Samokai. Some may now for bear me no as me and Sakura dear. Bakuka de Koya Koda ventilator so and my Yamia do Mosampi. But Madame Fubako, I no so Okoda UGMC. I say what Professor Safa is saying is very true. When I was in admission at the UGMC, I witnessed a patient with a mental challenge. A few days before his discharge, I was told he was not the first patient to experience that. Currently, I've engaged a psychologist as I'm going through a lot of issues. My question is, how many people can afford to engage a psychologist? So we need to look at the COVID after effect. Else, we'll end up losing lots of people for lack of after effect therapy. I don't know, Prof. Okay. Yes. After effect therapy. Yes, me too.
I know you're true. Of course, Mate and some other experts, so Graka said, virus is a virus. In your body, no my uncle. And you over to my was on water, but as I said, baby, some other situations can trigger it again.
Yeah.
In some people. And that aspect is also there. The SIA true so is a you nipa ni bebre on so na omo yare bi dada. And we buy and we know eba na ma ho den akọ affect other parts of the body as a function well no. Na masa yare ni nyina so AEP. And to be say ho atọ COVID-19 there but afi na bi asa yare no so COVID-19 no so aba trigger omo so ashase ya omo pintina nkrofo nya bia na medical professionals na ka bi omo say free comorbidity or some
comorbidity
or yare bi underlying health conditions bi. And it is true say other people many evidence do by materials prof can a bit more possible say be a nam COVID-19 is unti a little bit of mental issues. That one is there. In fact, yenya bi kra no. And I said tama me test na minya bi. In fact, I had done 2 earlier tests and I minya bi because na nipa bi anya bia na manya in contact with. And to my telephone number my microphone so they called me and said, oh, ni pass my senior COVID or report to say only we share that say into your person baba would test and I was shocked me how much the ambulance by fear by testing me but those periods in your tested negative even at the time you testing me and our results in mind the psychological effect chama it wasn't easy to my friend be na make a chance actually Wunya tipa ya kra now person was suspect say be a because results no enya my there's no doubt about it say yare will be a dim na say obi enya bi woni ni panation ti kra person be your test na psychologically we dane a we nipa bi kakra be fa utrim especially when say what is obi so aye there afimo
a boy
and one of our good friends, my friend, said John.
Yeah.
May he so rest in peace. In fact, the day before he passed on, I spoke with him on phone.
I see.
And can you imagine, say, one obi a or far, only so close, akasana the next day or passing on. Maybe I also to one year first, so you perceive by your test because I mean, Chama, it's not a joke.
It's not.
Okay. Yeah. And psychologically, you know, you only probably bro how to me and who do that psychological if they will succumb to it. It was an what ton of COVID-19, all right, but some man also be the prof said something about the economic situation.
Yeah.
One sorry, I'm quite mad. Nti nhyehyɛ bi ano no obi aye na adwuma bi ono obi ahyehyɛ onya area bese na otweme nsa bosome ba ko nko sa adwuma na fini nsa tin ho ato no all right but the obedi nti no he's going through some psychological stress na ote ho ne ma pressures egu no so and that thing it becomes a problem and I think say and our president response in terms of yama free way, free water, free electricity in a way it is intended to mitigate those pressures and the psychological effects. And they say, nipa no ho ato no kra no. Sabe, inso odi be dware ne kane a obedem say ono aduane kakra odi be share fridge my president. We should not be a problem. Enti bits and bits of it. And na if say ehwe na ye dey solve problem no. And media meka say yare it's no respecter of anybody and political matters and sorry ne mosque some and it's not anything. Say you know share kwane be so I betimi continue say no active cases no from 10,000 came to 5,000 now 3,000 now 1,800 ye be cost through bill and I say be co form say you know share kwane be so I be boy ho ban na aboa na aban hye ya wo ye no etimi ama co form menim say nipa be bre so anya bia chama o man hu. So it is possible because I know behind a show science and sentence and the other people may show Germany I didn't probably bring now high be on and I will be asking by test you until they don't know their status but it is possible say if you so when you be on who am on crash so atom madam for big crowd was on those who say when you're bed 3 times about no what no until chama it's there but there is hope and we share results now balance so I just say Ghana ya dear aboy homodin to send a president can be to 2 years a bit my chance be airport to say university for a chance to go back to school. I mean everything will come to normalcy and I think it's a good news.
Talking about yebe boy hoba na ibidi protocols na chino Iron Man say the education on COVID-19 must be done very well because people take things for granted. I visited Winneba over the weekend and I went to say Charles Beach. Kwame. People were not observing the protocols, and I think beaches are not even allowed to operate. So why is Charles Beach in Winneba operating?
It has been operating from day one.
In Simbibre. Obi onu sunya COVID. Ono de odi tudwa ama yete. Charles Niteko o omanpenyi asye. On the unya or the tuja say men can be anti na and conference there. I was the chairman general when my doctor called me and gave me news of the results. Guess who came to my mind first? My wife. And how I was going to share that unfortunate news with her. Chairman General, we thank God for life. Charles Nita Kotego, Tantra Hill. I'm sure it's anyway. Nana Verusu, any comments? Fellow Ghanaians number 15 and matters arising.
Grandpapa, me wana minya could be friend. Our friend man I say another a quiet test, you know. Say the announcement there. Nesaka. Also a minya pa a night viable. Okay, no na. My friend, my uncle doctor, and so obey the entire family. 8. Me old man the count. Had aside the one obey a test. Now today, I can. The 3 days or so, and Sana, my second testing. Remember, now my family, cause member was away. My wife, my papa. Now. The tension and the stress. Come on, now results in the bed. No say 8 ni negative. Na ebaze na ye. Into vana me catch there. Oh, my wife abna channel there other na say because it do front you know say for back door. It do hana a wrong. It clean movie or wrong with the basket. Na a person call us a cook grabber na opu or the in social na name tree na agenda the bucket issue na tissue na towel they cut on in fifty too. Yeah, go through process. Now we are ball lime juice so say by do.
It's so bolo.
Okay, so bolo is we have so bolo na kikedro no wo mu pa na o hye wo mnim. I guess the psychological aspect. Grandpa, me pede me pamocho be. This is an appeal to the presidency. One far Psychologists Association of Ghana and fan can work COVID-19 team now.
Work on who?
What's work on?
Work on.
That's it.
Since last time I say.
Work on. Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say Grandpapa, last time Prof. Kabi and Peter Mobile do. The effect of the COVID on Mofama, when you know, or even painful in terms of your mental state. Grandpapa, in social that war trauma, or the yes share the more from one social separately. Now you change the curve, no, more because the fact that it be COVID, na COVID, na no. On that they are in a great state of mental health because all the time now concentration as in according to research, I am on to CDA. Until we Ghana Education Service, or also all are mindful. Now in terms of grading the results of these people, now apply some of these things and they ensure results of the children. I think they're honestly very, very important. Grandpapa, says every a national exercise. A national exercise, no Grandpapa, you hear America to study the effect of the national exercise on us as a people and on the population. You hear America says 48 hours, 72-hour testing. Grandpapa says they isolate those results. They are studying over a small period. They share the post effect on us as a people. Now, some of the decisions now you be taking on reflect some of these variables. Yeah, you deal with it. Grandpapa, to the general population, watching there, the communication on COVID-19, Grandpapa, has not been the best.
Are you sure?
Oh yes, Grandpapa. That is where there's a weakness in terms of tracing, testing, and treatment. The education component of it, Grandpapa, because the majority of the people be fair about Winneba and Poano Beach way. The majority of the people are behaving there. BBN you conquer. Because sometimes the analysis of the figures, we have to give hope to young Crawford. Honestly, very, very important.
But you can also there or my analysis of the figures. Don't also catch out there. Still, as a non-crate.
And that is why your emphasis, communication in America.
No.
After a statement is made, for example, after President makes a speech, I am curious to know what the Ministry of Information does in terms of the communication vans at the district. What did they do in engaging and propagating some of the aspects now you're highlighting? You see, when the president speaks, you need the follow-up at the grassroots. What is the program from the Ministry of Information, from NCC, from all these other organs of state, in following up and re-emphasizing, putting it into different languages so that people can understand it on the grassroots. Grandpapa, we need to look at this. because you can't think it there, because Dr. Gideon Waha, Prof Waha, Grandpapa or Hodinti, the information no quite. Until we need to make sure that the processes of making sure that the dissemination, President Nasemno, Oba Papa Muma Aferni, what I say, Minya, Bibia, and parts of Ghana, and what I say in the different languages. I want to ask is this thing being done? Is this thing being done? So the communication aspect of what we talk about, and Grandpa, say I highlight so much on, let's say, 95% success rate. People are thinking that as an oko. And it is reflected on the streets. Grandpa, go on the streets. And then maybe many of the people are not wearing nose masks. The 1 or 2 people are wearing nose masks. Grandpa, even with their nose masks, why you fiancasa? So even the training about sanitizing, making sure you wash the nose bags every day, obey your need for your own health. And Grandpapa, until I may say the dissemination of information to the grassroots, and we need to improve in that particular area. Grandpapa, so there's this perception that there's freedom. There's this perception
that it is over.
That it is over. It is over, Grandpapa. Watching there, we it's over. Na yeno yenkao. Ma to me ho hye apoimu na me no mpusu kakra me fine. Bibia yem. So those things, we need to make sure that we deal with it. And I'm very particular about this psychosocial dimension of COVID-19, Grandpapa. The effect, apart from the psychological effect that your ability to think, your concentration, the effect on the internal organs in the COVID-19, there's research that has shown that a person when you have COVID-19, some have gotten it twice or 3 times or 4 times. So that herd immune system, is not entirely the case. Grandpapa, you can get it again and again. You don't build any antibodies. Like before, we were thinking that once you get it, you are safe. Today, he's safe on your bill. He can get it again. That is how dangerous it is. Grandpapa, there's a second wave coming. There's a second wave of COVID-19.
Sure.
Oh, Grandpapa, is in other countries.
The fact that we'll be able to Anna.
Grandpapa, first we heard of it somewhere else outside of Africa and San.
And the second wave for sure will come.
Grandpapa, for sure, because they are hitting the flu season. The flu season, the carrying of the virus and the rest. We are opening up the borders again. It is the same commuting here and all the as the Osad Baba. Grandpapa is the first one. No, this is a Ghana problem. You see, a buying problem. You see, that's why sometimes you define we have to be careful on how we do it. This pandemic or a Ghanaian problem. Each one of us, you will role to play in order to eradicate this thing from the system. But we have to make sure that the activities of leaders is such that or reflect there. This is a very serious phenomenon, pandemic or kodo in this country. And to Amy, I am pleading, and the plea that I'm pleading here, I don't know on quite, or you're real, or you're alive. Grandpapa, we have to also criticize their systems. You see, systems now, you're doing your statistics. Those systems itself, we need to review it and improve it. Grandpa, some of the things about the statistics of what I'm a president, I can about Savannah and all those things. Grandpa,
yeah.
But I tell you, once upon a time in our recent past, you have 10 regions. And you change regions now to 16. Grandpa, but 16 now, we don't have the infrastructure in the new regions to reflect the 16. So Savannah was part of Northern region. It is, but they don't have regional hospitals in all of those places and the equipment to test. And to Grandpa Obifi, one of the regions, never test to a Northern region. Let's say he's living in Savannah. It is likely we might capture it today in the Northern region. But Savannah region itself does not have a regional hospital. Obertum, what account to capture this information. And to grandpapa, some of these things, we have to be very careful. Because the footprint in terms of 16 regions, the infrastructure, the health infrastructure, it doesn't reflect 16 regions. Because it is now being put in place. And it said, you use as a Northern region as the basis of capturing the people who are positive from Savannah and Northeastern. However, these things, we have to be very careful in saying that those people don't have it. I am of the firm belief that the infrastructure now only form and want to capture that information. And it's a kind of baby freer. Then we have to be careful, because then the behavior, there's a tendency, they will be relaxed with behavior. Another, they reinforce what behavior. There, we are okay. Yet, one over problem, and to say, I'm sure psychologically, and their social behavior, it will take us to a place that everyone there will take care by surprise. And how did these numbers go up? And your behavioral traits. Until we need to be careful how you better analyze them information, and how you communicate to citizens, because the whole thing here, a behavioral challenge, or they change some of our norms and our practices are here in a way to meet and deal with this present situation. Grandpapa, I am excited by this morning's discussion, because since I had the Ghana to first, and I Ghana, and I analyze COVID-19 in that perspective, and it is the way we must go, because we cannot afford to push these things into political battles when our lives are at stake. And this is a clear one of the things that we all as a nation, we must come together. And my Professor Osafo, education, what that mame in relation to the psychological effect of the disease on the family, or you're critical, and we all need to hold that dear to our heart, because one person, the whole community has been affected. And what is the way now? In the way to make sure we get out of this things. Grandpapa, university students are coming home. SHS, JHS students are coming home. Grandpapa, how are they coming home? What is the disengagement process? In the sense that in Mofromana worry in terms of educating them and getting them mentally and psychologically ready. Information being all out there for families to bring these children home. Is there a quarantine period? Because now you have families. Now you're bringing the same family, you're bringing somebody who has been in a certain environment coming home. What is the processes? I think Grandpapa, it's about time. This thing from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, what are the processes in disengaging the students from their various communities that they are in now? What they're befi, and how is the family also supposed to deal in receiving your own child into the house and the potential effect of that child and the rest of the other family? Grandpapa, these are things that I think that the government must strengthen the efforts in that area. Yes, that disengagement. Yes, increase in communication. Yes, dissemination of the information in the different various languages. We need the Ministry of Information to also tell us what is it that they are doing to make sure that you better heighten back the awareness. I think that there was a period now the awareness was very high. And I remember Prof was saying that it takes 24 or 27 days to institute the behavior change for people to begin to imbibe. I think there, Grandpapa, we need to go back and deliberately put a program together. Over heighten corona awareness now be behavioral change in the system in order for us to deal with this thing. Grandpapa, me, I am not of the school of thought that somehow Ghanaians are so special from the rest of the world that fantastic. So all of a sudden nothing is happening or whatever it is. Grandpapa, this is a world phenomenon. It's a world pandemic. Let us not look at short-term, short-sighted resolutions to this thing and look for the long-term conscious effort to make sure that the citizen is aware of what is happening, and the citizens show our responsibility to what they do. Grandpapa, when you see the dirty nose masks sitting out, the people are using out there, very dirty. When you see the nose mask, you can know that thing is self-defeating. You put the dirty nose mask on your face.
Say. Chairman General, in the buses, some people don't wear the masks. Yesterday, I sat in a church where only 2 out of 15 of us were wearing a mask. I don't understand why in most situations Ghanaians don't pat themselves for anything good. That is as a result of our own initiative. You hear people say, oh, even America couldn't do it. Israel couldn't do it. Russia couldn't. Why do we harbor this mentality? Let's build self-confidence. Phillips in Takrady. Well, sometimes you build, but you look at reality. The predicted second wave of COVID-19 is associated with the temperate regions where there's cyclical flu outbreak over the winter season. Ghana is in the tropical region. Nano for should please spare us the professional Jeremiah analysis.
Grandpapa,
Justice Abeku Newton of Faith. Maba, Pocho. The sacrifice we make as Ghanaians is to protect everyone across the country in leadership studies. Across the country in leadership studies, they call it self-leadership, or the responsibility we take over our own actions. Just as the leaders, it goes on and on and on. Some of Brian being straight to the point. Thank you. And then this one says, a question of being in a Josobesiasim. We are doing well according to statistics, but we should not be complacent. Let's follow the safety protocols, especially the wearing of face masks. A little digression from your topic. Sometimes I don't know if commentators and politicians just want to bamboozle listeners. When Ghana decided that students should go back to ride the waxy, many were those who cried for government to follow what the UK has done by not letting the children write. Now, I am sure those who advocated for that will revise their stance. Kwame, there's utter confusion in the UK education system right now. This week, when A-level results were released, we are waiting for GCSE results this Thursday, and I'm readying my students to challenge the outcomes. Say hi to Pastor Professor Osafom. Say hi to my Pastor Professor Osafom, Elder Kwesi Kwanzaa in the UK. How do I get in touch with Professor Joseph Osafo? I need to discuss some psychological issues bothering me with him. Mabna, I'll take your number and then I'll pass it on to Prof. And knowing him, he definitely will look for you. So, Mabna, I'll send your number to Prof. He'll call you. Trust me. I think there's been enough education on COVID-19. People are just being ignorant. Emmanuel in Kumasi. Farouk in Tema says President Akufo-Addo's delivery was on point. Let's continue to adhere to the COVID-19 safety protocols. Farouk in Tema. God bless you for such a detailed education on COVID-19. Good morning to your panelist, Ohene Asante in Kumasi. And then let Nana Fori go slow. He's talking about miseducation, but he's also not a medical person. That you have antibodies after an infection is cured or treated does not mean you will not get the virus again. But that even if you have it, chances are that you might not need vitamin C, Zithromax, or any chloroquine. This belongs to the flu family. How many times don't we have flu or cold in our lifetimes? Life must go on. Eddie sends that one. In Japan, a highly industrialized nation with very low unemployment rate compared to Ghana and amongst top economies in the world, every citizen, permanent resident, millionaires, non-millionaires, young and old, were given the yen equivalent of $1,000 because of COVID-19 and its accompanying hardships. Ex-President Mahama must know this. Larry in Tibetan, Cape Coast. For the last time, I'll appeal to Nanofori again. Chairman, this grandpapa thing is getting too much. It's repulsive and takes the shine away. Tell him we, the listeners, don't like it. He should stop. Ishak Kufudia Sokore. So, Ishak, you are one of plenty people who have sent it. But quite interestingly, Nanofori, if he wasn't a fanti, I'll say it's a kwau. Why? Because Asasia buying on TJ. Wearing of the mask and our mentality to fight COVID has become another problem. Let's all fight against it. Foster Achim Ayurebi. What did the NDC's COVID-19 team do? Was it just showmanship? Ask the NDC for me about their COVID-19. Well, I remember last week one of the doctors on it. Dr. Nano, raise your friends. Dr.
Is it Anaba?
Okay, COVID-19 team. No. Anaba. Is it Anaba, right? Yeah, I think. Well, Ralph in Bonkataman, so Dr. Anaba says that if the NDC was in power, it would have stopped COVID-19 in 21 days. So at least they are also giving us their opinions on Nyama Ekoso. You know, the COVID-19 team from the NDC is there. By the way, me too, I like the grandpapa. Now for you, don't stop. Say Obama in Pokwasi. You worsened it. And then let's see. Okay. It's 10:36, which means it's 24 minutes to 11. We just have about 20 minutes and then we're done. Second round, member Dr. Gideon Boakoso. Now, second round. But before that, Papa, Mr. James Fifi Kwansa. Baby, I will be Mr. James Fifi Kwansa. Woma. Abigail, Stephen, and Isaac send you love. Happy birthday to you, Mr. James Fifi Kwansa. Enjoy your birthday. We wish you many more years as you celebrate your birthday today. And Opena can say, Mako Korebi, Openi Kwame Poku a friend or Chiniba or Achimda, and they were in 97. Woman, at 97, Yanka Dimbio, Yaminko so in Shra. Why? Woman, one ananum yina yakaho. Yama utrinkwa, ninya minshira. Okay, yes, so it's Dr. Anaba who said the NDC would have contained, emphasis on contained, the COVID-19 in 21 days. Okay, right. Dr. Wako. Yes, you do.
Was it Professor Mompa Grandpapa? No,
Obisusiope. Ebisio Mompe, Ebisio Mope.
And come a money different from me, but tell me to make a there'll be home catcher, but yeah,
and Paju Twasso. So home catcher, dear.
Maybe I'm not Grandpapa or Mompa, Grandpapa, and I bet my friend Papa. No. By popular request, Grandpapa, you better replace Grandpapa with Papa. Now, Papa no cry. Now say your bread to see who is the Papa. No, you say your mouth. Papa. That is just on the lighter.
I know. Don't worry. I have a big stomach and a thick skin. By the way, Michael Aka says you told us about the traffic light. Our Ablikuma fan milk. I in Juma 2 years. You say Chairman General Radio gets results. The traffic lights have been fixed. Well, thank you very much, Michael. I'm happy that your traffic lights are working after 2 years. Or the 2 years. Yes, we can. Yeah, almost some year who Jumano. On my young Ejuma. Nti Ibejanesa. Doc.
Chairman,
yes, sir.
Just on your second part, and you talk about comparison of records election, but we have to speak on infrastructure tomorrow. Tinyame Aduma Wachna, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, the government team. Na dear friend, town hall and resorts fair. Na sa town hall and resorts fair, center on only infrastructure.
Only infrastructure.
Yeah, I buy for so many ways now. Omagana for who are contribu and senior offer coins so you see man for Sika. Finance Minister, General President, and new presented budget. President must state to the nation address. Minister of Information, yeah, policy summit. Vice President, so a town hall meetings. I think so.
Also, I could pass a mama.
Yeah, and
Obi Papa no. Oye Juma, Ewo Vice President Horno. Onya nsem keka no Ewo Kachre Papa no mami.
Chama menene ya adwe. Menene ya adwe. It rhymes the bit master into town hall meeting EMT there ba so and afiwe ya so Kumase amampani abedi akire ma yesa ya another town hall meeting. Now we so another town hall meeting to showcase government infrastructure records. It's very important. Say a man for whom a juma or mampeni and na by 3.5 years. Our infrastructure say ye school dying, say ye su, say ya quine, say ye toilet facilities, say whatever it is, and even the soft side of the infrastructure. I want to say the same. So you focus so much on the soft side, which is the digitization and the systems of my economy to grow. And chairman, I say yes, I exercise. It's answer president in our buying fees to me a Ghana for the Mao mono. A young and so now so Ghana for Mao to me no mind jaw mosaka. Ghana for some boy buy a homa and no more taxes. Na nipa be brave, you know. Ayana nye the serious active political in the here but the here pan is on they are buying the taxes into your mampani in a buying so fees as a senior boy chana or mujibre na omagana for a dear omode oman for sika and oman for bread and oman for goodwill in terms of infrastructure and penifosi a sense of far the chair share juma ya any data ya call it na GDA pass so China decided to jabama Ghana for who say ampa ya to abama se say ba de na so abawo ya Ghana for 2016 so abam fa so pa yi so I will share the volume and the quantity of infrastructure worker aban we ya in 3.5 years now. I can say with authority and without any shred of doubt say I'm yet to see Abaya in his first term what such massive infrastructure our first term. And we stress on the first term because infrastructure to say yes so the number of times and number of years when yawa bemono highly correlated with the level of infrastructure so I say it takes time until brother when yawa bemono so ebeche the watimaya and can say also and Ghana for agency bibi so and maybe a chairman na green book send be and
then I just somebody else on green book
green book nyambo chana who send ebesi afa and the good thing is that yet bet chairman Ghana for who say offer infrastructure infrastructure and not just 1 or 2 3 signature infrastructure say ya one client sabi anase kumasenkwa but at the local community level the amount for here no ebia what encourage the here no here will be a local level into what have we done for the people at the local community level now of course the manya some no so they will play part because you know my what the other side and this if no said that can 70 be so na my huge infrastructure more than any government but chama or channel say it is not true indeed so all the major infrastructure NDC for Kahwasem, the Bias or Mayana, they did all of that in their second term. In fact, most of which Ukraine to me anyway. Over something like Terminal 3, it happened in the second term of the NDC. Over BBT is a circle interchange, a second term. Over BBT is a stadium, any E-blocks, second term. Rich Hospital, Yamoka in second term. And any other infrastructure. NDC for Betimaka a big project it happened in their second term. But it is not just them. Sometimes it appears to be the same. Even President Kofi say President Kofi was very fantastic. The major things that happen here is Ipon Stadium, Tamale Stadium, here constructed as a for interchange, N1 Road, Bui Dam, and Jubilee Parks across the country, but it now happened in the second term of President Kofi, including even social intervention policies to say national health insurance scheme, free maternal care, school feeding program, metro mass. Now happened in the second term of President Kofi. It tells you say in most governments in the first term, ayana wo infrastructure and major projects no MIA senka President Kofi first term the man the second term and kadam good works and major works are ya mebo so nyina no Ghana for we have seen and this for the omoka bebre ni nyina no senye so munya second term and kakakra omo so maye no but chairman oba President Kofi at the time and tomorrow you see something to surprise you say President Kofi don kwa na ono ni abaya ne first term what me has started major infrastructure. No we be cry. I'm talking about look at Tema interchange.
And to China you
happened in the first time of President Kufuor. Now This is the first time in our history, about the first time, you have about 4 or 5 interchanges ongoing at the same time. Tema interchange here, Pokuasi interchange about 75% complete. Obechebe interchange across the first ever interchange in the 5 northern regions. A year Tamale Point 7 interchange and also Koso. Now we share other projects. President has started a year across the country. We share theater ya a war for India. Now we share the Astro Temsa Ekoso. Now we share the Year of Rose. Chama offer East Legon everywhere. Offer Domahim Crew. We share the Rose Asphalt Overlay. Say yeah. Offer Kumasi. Offer Takradi. Offer Prestia. So you see, sir, Mpanifo Kase Agrobesa Ifrano Padia, or the President Kufa the first term, no, to any other first term of a government. There is none that is comparable to President Kufado first term infrastructure. Now, I feel to crowd zero in on local and community based infrastructure, and this are data ninja. Nyame ya adoma ya de betuja yanko print book ana sabi obi aka se prof wo e bi a book no kra wanya bi achecha ma NDC for na MPP for nko a ye data no se ye de be ko ba bi a prof mo as academics etra the computer chi ofia obehu saade no supported by pictures into a channel. It's going to be a very good exercise. Yeah, they best settle the argument on infrastructure between NPP and the NDC, who has done so well in terms of infrastructure. Now, in some there are others that will come up tomorrow. Until our channel a our Academy of Arts and Sciences. Vice President Baumiani Billy D, Honorable Dr. Matu Poku Prompe, Dr. Koto, Honorable Cecilia Dapa, and other ministers, Jogate Numnia, they will be there to support. Now, yes, I do no. Now, they are trouble. Magana for who say there is no way. NDC for bit makas of my infrastructure to do a change and that
after tomorrow
evidence will be shown.
We'll analyze that.
Yeah, and teacher my when is a COVID seminal and you will be na yentimi and house everybody in the auditorium or Academy of Arts and Sciences. And today I say nipa bese 100 pe and yebema kwanyamo my seated in the auditorium. Yani yaka ye wo fie no yebe broadcast on major TV radio stations across the country. Now, for instance, social media, Facebook, our Vice President Facebook page, Ministry of Information Facebook page, any other social media handles are available. Until you upon Juma now could do fear, no Sia Conosia Nefano, or travel TV, who are obey that kind Ashe, never tea, or Mampania Bediatri, any buying, say, outdoor, infrastructure record, which is going to be very, very massive. And I think, say, the argument on infrastructure and between NPP and NDC, and a wide infrastructure the door pa and Magana for both at the national level and the community level. That argument will be settled tomorrow. And I Dr.
Gideon Bako, Mamina say time check 12 minutes at the top of the hour. Peace 104.3. Obi draw my attention, say, why aren't we talking about Cote d'Ivoire this morning? Well, maybe as we go along, maybe later tomorrow, some other day, we'll talk about the shameful madness going on in Cote d'Ivoire. They don't seem to learn. African leaders, just so you say Ouattara at almost 80 years, you want to decide, we're deciding. Say you run for power, for president, Constitution, I mean, oh man.
Oh, your papa no auntie.
Oh, your papa no bunny. Your papa no bunny. I mean, your papa no bunny. Anyway, the ref said bag with your koye and a day. Anyway, on the brighter side of life, Superintendent Kwame Jesiafari marching. We are East Legon District Police Commander and Ewawodam. So happy birthday to you, Superintendent Kwame Jesiafari, East Legon District Police Commander. Is from DSP Abena Benoit and all the staff at the command. They wish you well. Professor Fo, then I'll be a chat to.
Yes. Doc, let me make a small appeal.
You.
Infrastructure, yeah. To be honest, presently one of the areas may research violence towards women and children in homes. Now, one of the major needs of domestic violence in Ghana, DOFSU, for example, and this social welfare, shelters. Nti a channel and then I'm very
Young butcher.
a channel met now happy. Coming as social intervention schemes. I hold on so I hear for these things are extremely important. We love the rules, we love the interchanges, we love all of those. But most government, certain basic needs, areas at their feet. Shelters are deeply needed. In fact, report be from UNICEF shows in Ghana, figures from domestic violence in Ghana inquire just 33 to 37% of women are experiencing abuse in a form of intimate partner violence. Now, basa opese we know every ho in the meantime, every call a shelter be over corner shelter any ho. The Misra Banse a china yebeda we no no yama yeni and so the last one no universities, infrastructure, universities, and also person who pa. When we say fee a school for neighbor, the numbers will be huge because free SHS no, a lot more of our children have been able to go to school. And then here in the universities. I mean, my department, for example, you can have more than 1,000 students. Lecture and sometimes maybe you want to know I was saying any idea. Doc, wait here. Also infrastructure, universities, and then domestic violence, shelters, where your areas are, your slippers are buying a money and infrastructure needs of these areas. Come with you, Kokrokoo. Now, me the COVID year. We still are not in very good times, but we are trusting God. And the Yanka Sans so yin subai. And the actions be a take say be a man buy. So they will be here, the air can say. They are by no gusu air. And kind no sem.
Yeah.
The moment they are not who buy. The air can be a fire now come. I was just checking. In Israel, say a chew about this is say as I won't share massa 200 shekels.
Oi.
Flat about $70. Akwabia from age 6 and onwards, I was saying we share mask. As long as we be here, you must be in your mask. And the Prime Minister is happy. He's making money out of that. They have opened their borders. So, until answer the open borders. And maybe in 44% are how to even wear it. No, they wear it with mistakes. Tian share I want to cannot. Now, for your casa fedie, ye be near whom say, will be upon a home by. Now, and also so uncle fat, Bibia Sambre, until ye bought a man for say, born home by. To the best of your ability, do your best and leave the rest for God.
Yeah, that's it, Peace 104.3. Final set of messages. Chairman, in fact, we oppose, remonstrate, refuse, forbid, and object to Papano name given to you. We like our Chairman General, Sir Fred Tebiri in Techiman. Fred Mate. Then this one, Master Planner Junior Kintampo. Please accept the Papano. It sounds better than Grandpapa. Okay. By the way, Dr. Gideon Buaku, can we have a web direction accompanied by GPS coordinate so we can see these projects on the web and verify the site of infrastructure done by this administration? Kwabna sends this one from Maryland. And then,
GPS coordinates.
Well, Kwabna, he says tomorrow a lot of these will be put out and it will be easy. The portal will be there. Tell Dr. Gideon Buaku it was NDC's second term, but it was Mohammed's first term. Commander Hill in Takrade. Tell the NPP not to do any book, whether green, blue, or black, because we, the people of Ghana, know what to do come December 7. 4 more to do more. Okay, this one has no name. Ask Dr. Buaku what happened to the KJB Mpoho Edumbanso Road in the Western region. The president cut the sword in 2018. Nothing has been done. Dr. Tuedu Evans, Georgia. And then Considering the COVID-19 pandemic, it is clear that the whole world is not safe, let alone Mother Ghana. All we have to do is to own our own lives and observe the protocols, and it is also the prerogative of the government to protect us. David Bequinson from Senyabriku SBCT. I agree in total with Fred Teberi. As for Papano dear, we vehemently reject with alacrity, say Obama in Pokwasi. Ghana for sure. Well, some many years in the anyway, sometimes it's exciting. The salacious. Yeah, near the Bisu IS3 Kakra. And then this one says, I want to thank His Excellency Akufo-Addo for his latest address. He's a visionary leader who thinks deep. We thank God for Prof's life. That is Don Pino from Malam, who sends that one in. And then the NYA, under the auspices of the Minister of Youth and Sports, Isaac Esiama, has built 10 youth resource centers across the 10 regions of Ghana, which are 90% complete and with FIFA standards. The new regions will have their share of it pretty soon. Evidence-based, and we, the youth of Western Region, are grateful. We have ours at Axim, 4 more to do more. Jade, 9 Akoto Road in Takrady. Why throw away a constitution that brought you to power? Because he still wants to be president? Black leaders and politicians must apply sense. Let's pray for a peaceful solution in Ivory Coast. Guy G, Newark in New Jersey. Well, unfortunately, Cote d'Ivoire has started erupting already. And it's sad. It's sad. If you look at the pictures before the stories, see ya Nagbagbo the end start here. See ya Watara.
Chama.
See ya.
Obi busa about Kajabi in Paho Banco Road.
Yeah.
Until I'll go and find out for him. Now, my pass it through you.
I'd be grateful.
No updates. Yeah. We appreciate comments from listeners in this regard. Sometimes people walk around now. I buy any shares. Be a contractor, be a free side. If it is true, is a contractor on any side. Chama, I want to take the challenge. Now, my busa wants some mamano.
Okay.
Now we move forward. That is how we want to build Ghana. Citizens are not spectators.
Eastern Corridor.
Eastern Corridor. You started a KJB Dodu. Is it Dodu through Jessica Dodu Pepper? So yeah. And your contractor now has started. In fact, contractor is on side. Jessica Dodu Pepper Road. Yeah.
The upper part, by the lower part.
They are doing that
one. Yeah, then I am point.
Yes, Grandpapa.
Party chairman.
Oh, yeah, Grandpapa. Oh, yeah, Papa, no.
Grandpapa, every time we talk about Africans getting together, the oneness and free trade, I'm told that tomorrow there will be a. Was it today?
It's today.
There will be a commissioning of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Secretariat building. I'm remember pictures of the building. Well, TV don't have it. It looks like a magnificent building. But here Bompire there, obey Juma, Odama. We as Africans, ECOWAS and other in terms of the trade between us. Never to year we acquire. And we are keen on seeing how this will help us in making sure that we're able to get a one Africa. Grandpapa, this infrastructure battle, yeah, many they be way. Grandpapa, coming infrastructure.
Oh, baby.
The coup maker, infrastructure. Everybody has done infrastructure. Tell me, sometimes it's about the effects on the lives of Ghanaians. So, Eka buildings, what's them? Now, and how building, another those things, what effect the life of Ghanaians are. To me, those things on your argument. Until I pray that in tomorrow's activity, we will see a correlative relationship between building a human being and development. And that is where I think that we as a nation, we must take the discourse. because they discuss specific buildings. Everybody, I would say 10 more than the next person. To me, but what is the effect of all these concerted activities on the lives of Ghanaians specifically? And how has it improved your way of life and your conditions? Elevate the discourse on development on our people to a much higher level, and not just some number game. You see, number must have an effect on us there. The effect on all of this as the people on my hope there projecting obey, then making sure that you be used to continuity. Because to tell the truth, the Adrian there at a hospital is the concept of a hospital exclusive to you, or you continue of what we have set out as humanity to provide. So cost. Then you make sure that the value for money analysis is there.
Excellent.
Then the relationship in terms of, let's say if you build a hospital, what is now the doctor relation to patients? How have you lowered that? How have you increased the doctor to patient relationship, the nurse to patient? How have you improved on the teacher to student ratio? And how have you improved the conditions of learning? You see, Michelle classrooms in Ghana, research has shown that the blackboard has effect on our eyes in terms of teaching. Menti bibia about government saying that I put the green boards there, or I put the marker boards. I have improved the way in which we do learning in the environment, because on your building and other learning number is how you construct a building in such a way that it has its maximum effect on the person. So if you construct a hospital, how have you constructed the hospital to improve the relationship and the dynamics and how people, because when you go, some of these things are not impressive. There are some straight classroom block will be sitting somewhere. And so we need to begin to understand development and infrastructure in the way that it impacts on your day-to-day lives. That is why the Progressive People's Party, we always talk about that. The continuity between physical objects and the immaterial, the concept on the mind, the social being, the social fabric. We need to make sure that we close that gap. There was a time we went to build some schools under a certain project in a village, Grandpapa. Can you believe there, in the nursery, building, they left the open area for Moframani to eat and to play and all of that. It was nursery, KG1, KG2 with an open place. Mm-hmm. The local chief, the Nemwa Bogu open place in the village, because he valued his animals more than what we were trying to do. So then what is the learning? What is the link? Because you put the building there. But did we train the community and have the communities to understand what we are doing? There are communities that they build KVIPs in the north that they refuse to use because they said that socially, culturally, they don't defecate on defecation. And so those things became what? A standing
white
infrastructure, white elephant. So, Grandpapa, there is a connective. We have to connect infrastructure to your ways of living, the way we live, the way we act, and the impact on the infrastructure moving forward. So I am hoping that the discourse that I did 5 more than you, 10 more than you, and all those things, that will not be the quality of discussion that Yeba have as a nation. After the value for money, there must be a correlative relationship between the infrastructure and the lives of the people manifest. Yes, this is what we are looking for.
That is why I agree with Grandpapa. That is why I feel say the President Kufuor focus. We focus solely on Accra and Kumasi, and also we see giant structure be baby. But chama te say na grandpapa can.
What's the impact?
Papa ne cannot. Impact no e what down hono. And sometimes we see bede kakraka o kumase akra takra de. Ba be come me krom boma no sabe chama ye hia bi a toilet keke o.
Clinics.
Ne nya bi just chips compound. E will be a boku kruwa or turn on off, but we don't get it. Enti like to say na me kan no. And chama we share like open defecation free. There are a lot of communities are still among open defecation free. I didn't necessarily political gains in you spend hundreds of millions of cities. You see down Kakrakabi or baby. Now more other towns and villages no they nyashe. So the focus power and tomorrow we'll highlight that fact. So local level community based infrastructure. Until you may not necessarily have to see say this giant building or has wakasa be infrastructure, but a call for more power and don't work communities any rural areas no. A dear ben ya more in Ketenkete say ya digging low whatever. That is what they need. Those basic things no because also ni padu don't know. And as I say yes but my mom and your seven konko yes so yenko si dan kase bi wo Kokrokoo and Kumase ni enjoy other communities na kano and President Kufuor's focus has been on local level infrastructure.
After tomorrow, we'll be able to do the analysis and assessment. Long time no see, Dr. Gideon Boako. Happy to know you are well, hearty, alive, and looking forward to your infrastructure press conference tomorrow.
This week?
This week, also show this. As always, Professor Joseph Osafo, Prof. Yeda Prof. Joseph Osafo, head of psychology department, University of Ghana, Legon. Asasia by Nano Furi Usu, national chairman, PPP. Ebaha Anope. And Penny Damasi. Mama Kayanko, Yenya Dasi P. But teach you what Uti and Wo, and Anaseka see a yodia. A little Jeremy for you. Whilst you wait for the next news broadcast at 12, and Kofi Kombilson, who's next on your radio. 1 day down, 4 more to go. Nyami Adumo Channel Payebe Samba.
Joromi, I want you to love me.
Have a great week ahead of you. And remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive. It's all you've got. May your day be blessed. God bless. Good morning.